The following is a video I originally released as a Patreon exclusive on June 22nd, the day before Drake Bell had his day in court. Now that more of the story has come to light, I decided to share it with the rest of the class, and include an epilogue, so stick around after the ending of the original extra dose to find out the fate of Drake Bell. Hey everyone, Knob Lixton here with your Entertainment Whenever blast from the past. Remember Drake Bell, the former teenage star of Nickelodeon's Drake and Josh? You probably thought, my life is hollow and meaningless. I wonder what people I used to watch on TV are doing lately. Well, after filing for bankruptcy in 2014 and losing his house, he would go on to make transphobic comments about Caitlyn Jenner, be accused of abusing his ex-girlfriend both verbally and physically, and this month, he was accused of getting down in the DMs of young teenage girls. So, here's the story, and this is how fast the fucking justice system works. In 2018, a 15-year-old Canadian girl filed a police report with her local department, claiming that something had happened the year before at a concert on December 1st in Cleveland. If you live in Ontario, for example, Cleveland's only like a 4 or 5 hour drive, so it's plausible. Although why a 15-year-old would want to go see Drake Bell in 2018 or ever is beyond me. And I'd like to know who drove her there. Like, were her parents there? Maybe she went with a friend and their family. I don't know. But anyway, Canadian authorities passed it off to the Cleveland authorities. They do an investigation, and they figure out that Drake Bell had established a relationship with the girl several years prior. She did in fact attend the concert in 2017, and that Drake Bell violated his duty of care and created a risk of harm to the victim. And that in the months leading up to the concert, Drake Bell sent the victim inappropriate social media messages. So here we are in 2021, 4 years later, and charges are finally being laid. But oh my god, who could have suspected something like this from Drake Bell? Well, how about me? 6 fucking years ago. Because this is what Drake Bell is even more famous for. Being on Twitter and flirting with sad teenage girls. That's right, 6 years ago this month, I did a video about Drake Bell being shitty to Caitlyn Jenner, and had this little throwaway joke where I had found him talking to a girl on Twitter, going, "Oh, you used to have a crush on me. What, you don't have one now?" I just so happen to have the unblurred version of that transaction, which, sorry, but I won't be sharing with you. But I went back to see if the tweets were still there. And ready for some really fucking weird shit? In a tweet that I'd missed at the time, the girl asks, "I miss seeing you. Do you plan on coming to Cleveland anytime soon?" And get this, all of Drake Bell's tweets from this conversation have been deleted. What is happening here? Had prior contact before 2017, this took place in 2015, it happened in Cleveland, and dude looks like he's trying to cover his tracks. Now, of course, this could all just be a coincidence, and he's been a creepy piece of shit to multiple young girls. That's probably highly likely. People don't just do this once. But how fucking crazy would it be if my stupid throwaway joke in 2015 actually documented the beginning of this? Now, why does this shit happen? It's because these washed out celebrities are lazy. Now you might be saying, Buckley, really? Lazy? That's a good excuse for not vacuuming or not washing your sheets as often as you should, but how's it an excuse for being a goddamn child toucher? And of course, it's not an excuse. What I'm telling you is that these celebrities like Drake Bell, who are nobody now but used to be somebody, still living off of fame from 10 years ago, find these girls who are like, "Hee hee, I used to watch you all the time, I was so in love with you." And they go, "Oh really? What did you imagine us doing back then?" And then they fucking think they're doing these girls a favor. Like, "Oh, this is a thrill for her. She actually gets to talk dirty to a real celebrity." Well, they're jerking off to pictures they con them into sending because no adult woman wants to fuck a dude with the face of a 40-year-old and the body of a child. But what they're doing is picking the low-hanging fruit. It's so easy to take advantage of these girls who love them for their celebrity instead of trying to date a girl who has no fucking idea or doesn't give a shit who you are. Especially when now you're nobody. So then they go, "Oh, I'm gonna be doing a show in a nearby city. Why don't you stop by? I'll give you the VIP tickets and backstage passes. Yeah, come on up to my dressing room after the show." And then later on, it's, I swear, officer, she told me she was legal. So, of course, he pleaded not guilty to 2 criminal counts of attempted endangering children and disseminating matter harmful to juveniles. In other words, trying to touch a kid and sending them weird shit. His first pretrial hearing is June 23rd, and if convicted, he could face 18 months in jail. Which doesn't seem like a lot, but I'm sure he'd end up getting some sort of house arrest deal anyway. But if he is convicted, remember, your old pal Buckley called this 6 years ago. Well, Belle, maybe after all this dust settles, I'll give you a job at PetSmart. After all, you've clearly shown yourself to be an experienced groomer. So, what's happened since then? Drake Bell changed his plea to guilty at the June 23rd hearing. Guess he found out what they had on him, or what could get dragged up if this went to an actual trial. And then, on July 12th, was sentenced to 2 years of probation and 200 hours of community service, because of course that's all he got. Something tells me they won't let him do that 200 hours of community service as a high school girls volleyball coach. His accuser spoke during the sentencing hearing, calling Bell a pedophile, saying he started grooming her when she was 12 years old, and that they did engage in sexual conduct in Cleveland and at a hotel. However, Bell's lawyer said, no, none of that happened, only the things that Bell pleaded guilty to, which were the obscure attempted child endangerment and disseminating matter harmful to juveniles charges. So, Drake Bell, you just pleaded guilty to being a creep to underage girls. What are you gonna do now?
I'm going to Disneyland.
That's right, after the plea, but before the sentencing, he hit up Disneyland with a woman and baby that, in late June, he confirmed to be his wife and son. Hopefully his wife didn't catch him checking out other girls waiting in line for the teacups. He also posted some Instagram stories with his son, a part of his life he's kept private for some time. To bring it up right now, it really looks like a guy trying to say, see, I'm not a pervert. Would a pervert have a wife and son? 'Cause yeah, no one with a family has ever been a kid toucher, right, Jerry Sandusky? Luckily for Drake Bell, this won't do much damage to his career because that'd be like driving a 94 Escort into the rubble of a building they knocked down 6 years ago. But I'm guessing Disney won't be asking you back to voice Spider-Man in a cartoon anytime soon. Unless, of course, they change it so that an adult Peter Parker met Mary Jane by sending her dick pics when she was 14.